Hello and welcome to Alie Unscripted. Listen, that was not a fart. I promise you that was the chair. So it's been a hard minute, y'all. It's been over 5 weeks, and 5 weeks was the amount of time that I gave myself to separate from my book, aka the title of the book is I Just Want to Keep Running. Now I'm saying I just want to keep running, but I just told my editor, because she's doing her CV, and she was like, can you remind me the name of the book? I said I just want to keep running. So we'll see which one meets the final count, but I have settled within myself that that is the name of the book, and once you read the book you will learn why that is what it is. It took me a hot minute to find the name of the book, because the name was originally named Jabez. Jabez was the only character of my book, and everything was based on the meaning of his name. So the whole book came from the meaning of his name. So I was like, obviously that was like a simple, it's named after him. And Jabez is not a common name, so I say, okay, when Jabez come up, only me in the Bible gonna come up. Like, it ain't gonna be much other stuff that comes up, so I'll be good. Yeah, so I added Davy into the mix. So obviously I had two options. I was like, either name the book Jabez and change Jabez's name, or I gonna have to find a whole new name. And as much as I tried so hard to change Jabez's name, that is just his name. I tried to change it to Jay, but I just couldn't do it. It just didn't suit him. His name is Jabez. From conception, his name was Jabez. Before conception, his name was Jabez. So it's like, I'm not mommy who just, I can't change his name regardless. But today I am coming on because I am back in the swing of things. So I'm gonna tell y'all right now. So hope y'all, I didn't want y'all to see my little pathetic bun in the back, so let me just do like this. So from like the 12th of this month, I was supposed to, was it the 12th? Yeah, so like around the 12th of this month, yeah, 12th of this month, I was supposed to, I print out everything the Saturday before the 12th, so that was like the 10th. I print out all the chapters and my notes and editing stuff, and I was supposed to reread it. I realized that isn't gonna work with me. I already have the comments there. It just was like, Alex, just do the thing. The comments are there. You don't have it. What are you rereading for? Now, it was important for me to reread my personal notes, the notes I made along the journey, so that, you know, I know how to handle that. I'm so sorry, y'all, if my glasses is reflecting, but y'all, I ain't gonna look good without the glasses, so y'all forgive me. Yeah, so it didn't work out. I became overwhelmed. A lot of stuff was happening in my personal life that made it really difficult for me to find space. That waking up early in the morning, I tried that many times, especially during the very first time I tried writing Jabez years ago, and I just find that it just does not work. I know people say just make it work, don't do any excuses, but I tried, and writing 4 a.m. in the morning does not work for me. It just does not work. I could write in the morning, but it can't be like 4 a.m. My brain just is not going to be thinking. I would not. And I'm not gonna make myself feel bad that I just can't percolate them thoughts and them ideas into words and sentences and paragraphs and a whole chapter 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm just not gonna do that to myself. So that was really rough. And I felt really bad because I just could not find the right time to write. And obviously there's no right time to write, but there were things that were happening out of my control. And if you don't know, I used to go to therapy, no shame about it. And one of the main things I couldn't stand was the fact of people trying to like put their lives and stuff into my lives and entangle it. So it was a lot of stuff going on, but praise be to God, we kind of settled down now. I still don't really have my own space, but I have found a way to turn it around for the good, because the Lord is good and his mercy is enduring forever. So what I decided to do, which is actually a brilliant plan and actually works out better, is that I have someone to read. I have 2 people I need to read, and I have a couple of questions I want to ask the coach that I have and my friend, who is actually the son of the coach, and a nurse. So I have a couple of people I still want to ask some final questions, because while I was editing and writing, obviously you put more than you expected. So regardless if you have a full detailed plan, or if you have, or you just like winging it, if you're just fluffing it and winging it, new stuff is still going to come out in the development. So new stuff came out in the development that I wrote it, but I want to specify that this is correct, or like make sure it's not as vague. So certain things that I knew that I might needed to talk to someone about, just, and it might be like a tiny question, I put something vaguely there just in the meantime. So I have to go back and do that. So that's what I'm doing. I have a guy. Thank you so much, E. So I have a guy who is a teenager who's helping me out. Who I only gonna give him some clips. I'm not gonna give him the whole book, because this is a lot of a lot of reading. But he kind of, I think, can relate to their situation. So he is going to, obviously not all of their situation. He has not been through a lot of things, but I think that he would, as a male who's been around other males who've probably been through those things and stuff like that. Either way, he's, I think, would be a really good person to read over certain parts, especially the Davian parts, and maybe some Jabez parts as well. So I'm gonna give him certain scenes. I might not even give him a full chapter. I might give him certain scenes that'll be like, give me the male perspective on this. Like, would a guy really say it like this? Like, would you really text like this? When you have a girlfriend, would you really do this? Would you really have this thought? Like, as much as I believe God truly helped me to write a book where the two point of views are guys, teenage boys, which I have never been a boy, but I've been a teenager, but I've never been a teenage boy, and those are two different, a teenage girl and a teenage boys are they're two different people. So I do believe that God gave me a grace to write it, but he is going to help me like fine tune it in a way. So I have that, and then I have someone else who's going to be actually reading the chapters, and she's going to go along with my other notes. Now, this might be backwards to compare to how other people write their books, which is totally fine with me. I don't care. So my main thing is, while you are writing, you are going to come up with your own style. There are writers, there's a certain part of the editing process that you just should not skip. But there are certain parts that I think is okay if you do a little backwards. It was really hard for me to find beta readers. I've put myself out there, Twitter, Goodreads, Facebook, and I just could not find a beta reader. So I found someone who can do it, and I just remember there's another person. I gotta ask her. So I found someone who can do it. And I'm not ready to query. I still have a bunch of stuff to, well, hopefully not a bunch, but I'm not ready to query yet. So I still have someone. So I still have to write. I still have to go through all the chapters. Remember, what I was doing in the past was really like a mentorship / editing, a good look over on what I originally had on my work. And I really felt like I was in a college level class, because she used to be a professor. And I know there's some people who say, and only one person I've ever heard actually say, you don't need an editor before you query. Good for you. I think that that's awesome, because if you have enough beta readers and critique partners and people who have done it before, you might honestly really don't need one. But everyone that I know of in the past have had editors, and I think that once you have an editor who's not just like writing it over for you, which honestly, to be quite frank, I won't blame you, but I think that you'll be missing out on a lot of opportunities if you have someone who can walk with you and tutor you. So my editor was much greater than editor. She was a teacher, she was a mentor, she was a beta reader, she was a critique partner. She was so much that calling her an editor to me feels like the floor of what she actually did. So yeah, so I have someone looking over it. I'm gonna write down some beta questions later tonight for her, and then I'm gonna pick some scenes for the guy to look over. I'm gonna send him 2 scenes at a time. So once he give me 2 scenes, I'll send him 2 scenes back. Yeah, there's one other person, a boy. I feel like I kind of want her to to be like the last person to read it, because like I said, there's still so much stuff that needs to be worked out. I don't know. So yeah, I'll probably ask her. I'll ask her if she'll do it, but right now in this beginning stage, I don't think I'm gonna send it to her. If she says yes. So that's the update right now. I want to be finished with this process. I'm giving this. I want to be finished with the rewrite by September. By shoot, definitely by September. So, like I said, there's no right time to write, but you have to be in the right mindset. And sometimes you honestly gotta put yourself in the right mindset. There's so a lot of times I just literally plant myself here in the past and just made myself write. But it's really difficult for me to write when there's a lot of distractions. But the distractions that I had before are not going to be here too long. So we're going to be okay. And like I said, I found a way to go around the distractions that actually made it better. So that's what I'm doing. So yeah, that's the update. I hope that you guys are still with me. I actually have more subscribers now. I have 62 subscribers right now, and I am like, wow, like that might not seem like a lot to you guys, but I'm acting like that's 62,000 because I've got a lot of subscribers even after I went on my break. I do know of other writers who have openly, not personally, but have openly talked about having that YouTube fatigue and trying to be on top of things. I am different. I want to be as honest as I am with my subscribees, people who are following my life, and I want to be the most healthiest version. So when I take a break from writing, that's gonna be YouTube writing as well, and that might be not smart to a lot of people, but that's fine with me. In the future, it might be different because I have a very time-consuming job, and that was like a huge thing back in the day. It has gotten like 70% better, but back in the day, when I was doing all that stuff, I had a really time-consuming job, and I do ministry, and it's not an excuse, but I think it's very important as a writer to know when to cut the cord and know when to set boundaries, even boundaries on YouTube. We want all the fans, we want people to follow us, we want people to read our books, but at the end of the day, you don't want to die young, and you don't want to have a mental breakdown, or you don't want to end up hating something that you really love because you're trying to please every single person. So I had to say no. I had to say no to YouTube for a minute. I had to say no to writing, which you're supposed to do after you write a big chunk and you're going back. You should take a break to reread it and read it with a clearer mind. So you should take a break. I can't promise to upload 3 times a week. I can promise my best to upload once a week, which I think I was doing pretty well. I think only twice, maybe 3 times. I didn't do like weekly videos, but fairly enough, I do between 1 to 2 videos a week. Shortly, 1 video a week once I am in the writing mood. Once I'm in the writing space, once I'm writing, I will be uploading other things besides writing, so that way when I'm not writing, there'll still be something here that you can watch. So in the meantime, I want you guys to know that I am not just a writer, I am a teacher. I love teaching, and no, I do not teach as a full-time job. I'm actually in human resources, so that could tell you why all the stress coming. I know some of y'all might not like human resources, and that's probably why it's stressful for me, because I try to put the human in human resources, and that is not my line. I got that from someone in TikTok, but I'm very like human rights type of person, so a lot of things don't fly with me. So I'm not the traditional human resource person. But when I'm saying I'm a writer, when I say I'm a teacher, I love teaching people about life and about life lessons, and that's actually why I created my blog, Alie Unscripted, years ago. So my blog was created for me to teach people about life lessons, and not even teach people, for people to come on the journey with me. So that's why I always used to say, and I still say it now, for you to come on the journey with me of learning life lessons. And I love to do it through exploring. So if I could find a job at the National Geographic, that would probably be super amazing. But I love exploring. I love going out there and learning things. I think that you can learn something by just walking in a forest, by just going to a waterfall, by just traveling. That you can learn so much even by just having a conversation with someone who has a completely different background than you, religious belief, everything else. And I think that is just so much fun and beautiful. So that's what I'm doing. So you can follow me on LinkedIn if you want more of that side of Alexandria. Yes, that's what Alie comes from, Alexandria. So my LinkedIn is Alexandria D King, and you can find me there. So I am a storyteller by heart, regardless of it's writing or visual or in front of people. I'm a storyteller, and I just can't run away from it. So I have been doing stuff. So if you want to just follow the life, you can follow me on LinkedIn as Alexandria D King, or any other platforms. You'll find me at Alie Unscripted, and Alie with 1L. Don't ask why just 1L. It's just like a childhood thing. It's 1L. Sometimes I wish I did 2 L's, because that's the quote-unquote correct spelling, but I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, I already bought the domain, so I can't really do nothing about it. I can't switch it over, so it's like, it is what it is. So that's me. And yeah, I can't wait for you guys to come on the journey once again. It's the last week in July, and like I say, this thing I want to be done with by September. So by September, we should be good, and I plan on one last person will be looking over it, and then by October-ish, November, I should be done, ready to query. So I probably won't query until January, February, which sucks because I really want to query like right away, but they say you should not query around Christmas or Thanksgiving. So I'm gonna have to query like around like probably February, March-ish. I really don't want to wait till March. I could be so real with y'all. I don't want to wait. That's too long. But like, and I know January is like right after, and they're probably catching up with their emails. So maybe February. But I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like, I just would have, what I done, I just would have sent out the query letters. But yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. And all in due time, all in God's timing. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions for me, if you have any tips on how to go about it. Like I said, I know I'm not doing this the traditional ... I'm doing it like this, and I think if a lot of writers are honest with themselves, they do it like this, or their emotions have been like this. I rebuke it in the name of Jesus. So I'm just going with the stripes, going with the waves. Anyway, peace, love, and blessings. I don't know why I did this for blessings.